Johnny Depp was not your first choice to be Edward.
Well, actually, he was. In terms of the process you go through with the studio. When you're dealing with a movie studio, they have a list of like 5 people. Like of the biggest box office stars. So you've got to go through that. But in a funny way, Johnny was. When I first met him, I didn't know his work. I had never seen his TV show, or I didn't know his work. But as a person and as somebody sitting there talking to him about the script, he certainly was the image. He certainly physically was more the image that I had always thought about. I didn't know him as an actor, and after learning and talking to him stuff, he had real passion for the project and real, you know, he understood it also. And so in a quiet way, he was always my first choice. But you got to go through the process, you know what I mean?
He played the character as a little boy, but he had also Charlie Chaplin in mind. Did you work in that direction with him?
I didn't, because I never. I think Johnny was much more interested in Chaplin and looking at that stuff than I was, because I didn't myself take that tact, because for me, I grew up and I was never really, even though I can understand why Chaplin's a genius and why people like his work so much, but I was never myself. I always found him actually that his work colder. I mean, it never connected with me, even though I can technically see how wonderful and how great he was. As growing up, I never was it never connected with me as much as other things did. But for him, I think it did. And so I think he on his own used it, but it was something that I never pushed with him. I sort of pushed other buttons with him and not that, because I knew, he was bringing his own thing to it also, which was important to me.
But on the other hand, did you discuss with Johnny Depp about cartoons, about Pinocchio, about?
Well, it's a classic story, so we'd sort of talk about it a little bit, but it was so inherent in the material that we didn't talk about it. I tried not to talk about those things that were just there, you know what I mean, is to be redundant about it, and we'd just push other things. I would, because the thing that I liked so much about Johnny is that he, in his own life, has a lot of themes and issues that are very similar to the character. I mean, because Johnny looks the way he does in real life, and he was on the cover of all these teen magazines and very popular, like as a sex symbol, kind of a teen sex symbol, but he's very much not that way as a person, which is very much the way Edward character, in the sense of being perceived as something that he's not, and that split.
About Winona Ryder, which are the qualities you like in her acting?
I like her because she's very simple and pure about what she does. She's an actress that likes strange subject matter and just trying to give it some reality, which I quite like. I've worked with her twice now, and she gets better and better as an actress, and she's just got a simplicity and a purity that I like very much, and a risk-taking. She likes to be risky and simple at the same time, and I just find that those qualities in her are very exciting to work with. And she's just it's her desire to take weird subject matter and give it a kind of just a simple reality, which I like about her very much.
You've been animator at Disney. Would you say you're still influenced by cartoons?
Yeah, it's funny. I like to draw much more than I like to watch cartoons. I'm not. I was probably like anybody. I don't think I watched them any more than anybody else. And so the influence for me has more to do with liking to draw than like watching cartoons, because when I was doing them, I didn't. When I was doing animation, I actually didn't enjoy it very much. It's too the patience. I don't have enough patience for it.
What is your definition of fantasy?
I actually don't know, because I often have real trouble the lines between what's real and not real. I mean, some of the most surreal things are things that actually happen, and so the line to me is always very blurred. I think that fantasy and reality oftentimes is very gray, and what's normal versus not normal is always very gray, and you can be in reality and take a step into fantasy and not know it sometimes. That line is always very blurred to me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you going back to Belgium then?
Yes, today we go.